GM foxes. Hope you guys are all having the best day ever. Congratulations to the entire community on the very smooth V2 launch this morning. Now we're back to building, as DeFi Cafe said. Oh, and let's see if we can time this. Perfect. Okay, it's gonna be the best day ever. Today, Tyler has come down with COVID. Unfortunately, it seems like it's getting everybody. So I'm gonna do my best to cover for him. Please bear with me though, I haven't looked at the slides, just checked out the agenda. In fact, let's go ahead and post this agenda in the stage. We got a lot of great governance topics to cover today, so let's just dive right in. First up on the agenda, oh yeah, do we have the Zoom going and everything? Cool. Let me know if you guys need me to do any slide stuff, but I think it sounds like you guys have it covered. Ops, thank you. So yeah, assuming that we've got the first slide up for operating an Osmos validator, let's go ahead and bring Marley up on stage to tell us a bit about that.
Oh, wow, I'm first. Okay, I was waiting for that. Hello. Yeah, thanks, Willie. I'm super excited to see that this looks like it's passing last time I looked. Let me see if I can find that tab again. Yeah, we're super excited, and it's already running. The validator, it's under Velocity V2. Looks like we have 6.4 million votes, which is amazing. I think it closes tomorrow. Yeah, the 21st at 1 a.m. So get your votes in now if you would like to participate. I'm excited to start rolling in rewards for the DAO. Any questions, Willie?
It's exciting. How much do you anticipate the Osmosis validator will generate in revenue relative to the Cosmos validator?
Yeah, that's really hard, and I don't want to say the wrong thing. That's fair.
That's fair.
So I'd rather underpromise and overdeliver. So I would love to see. How about this? It's the current Velocity V2 is in the 46th position in Osmosis. Cosmos is in the 29th out of like the 118-ish. In the validator's only been alive for about 7 days. And in that time, it's made $2,148 in Osmo. And that's still picking up as more people delegate to the validator. So I can speak to what's happening on chain, but we'll have to, I don't want to say the wrong number.
Yeah, that totally makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, excited to see it, and thanks for getting this proposal up. Great work with the Cosmos validator so far. And if you guys didn't see the announcement the other day, if you have Osmosis and you're not yet delegating it to Velocity V2, please consider delegating it to Velocity V2 so we can move the validator up in the rankings, and so that the DAO will benefit from affiliate revs. Velocity V2 has 5% commission, which is the minimum allowed. So you're not gonna earn any less by delegating to the Velocity V2, soon to be ShapeShift validator.
Yeah, I was going to say, as soon as we officially have a governance pass, I would be happy to change it to ShapeShift. I just didn't want to jump the gun on that. Do you have something to add, Kirkland?
That was going to be my question. When does TaxiStake plan on renaming the Velocity V2 validator to the ShapeShift validator?
Yeah, so I just wanted to respect that. I wanted to go through the governance process, wanted to have an actual validator up and say, go delegate to this address before I moved it to the boardroom stage. And I put it up for 7 days, and it closes tomorrow. And as soon as we have community support, I would love to do that. Yeah, great question. I also just like to think ahead too, like what's next. And I feel like we're hopefully doing a good job, and it's had good feedback. And there was an interesting discussion in Tokenomics Public the other day at John, and would love to hear feedback on like what the community is looking for. And it was the first time I heard of validating DAO, so I would just like to hear more feedback from the community and like what chains are cool. I think some of the Cosmos Ethereum bridge ones that are in testnet right now, like Yumi and Evmos, I think is what it's called now, they renamed, are kind of no-brainers because they'll be bridging Ethereum and Cosmos ecosystems. Gnosis chain, previously XDAI, might be interesting. I have a little bit of experience on that, but they're going through a rebrand, and I just mentioned it because that's where like Colony is, and a lot of our and Gnosis Safe. Hey, they now have a Gnosis chain. So yeah, looking forward to the next thing.
Yeah, hopefully this is just a second validator of many to come. And good point, Marley. I was only thinking about Cosmos zones because I figured those are super easy for you to spin up. But great point. I know you've got experience running a XDAI/Gnosis validator, and that would be another great one for us to consider. So
yeah, we've got solid systems for Cosmos based, Tendermint based. But I would love to roadmap whatever's next. So yeah, thanks everybody. Go vote.
Thank you. A great note for product engineering. We'd love to collaborate with you on that.
Sweet.
All right. Next up, we've got Kent. Tell us about, let's see, the revised liquidity mining, the LP token purchase proposal.
Happy launch day, Willie.
Thank you. Happy launch day to you too.
Amazing work. Everybody that worked on this thing, from engineering to marketing. So cool to have it out. Yeah, great day to be a Fox. It's really exciting to hear about the validator stuff. I mean, it's just, I don't want to go too far down the tokenomics rabbit hole, but lots of cool opportunities for us to do that. Anyway, the active proposal right now in Snapshot that pertains to tokenomics is SCP-55. Yeah, that's the revised liquidity mining and LP token purchases. So this outlines the next phase of our liquidity mining program, which essentially is an extension of the current program, kind of a copy and paste over there in terms of liquidity mining rewards, but with the crucial addition of aggressive purchases of our own liquidity tokens via our existing Fox to ETH Olympus bond. So we would probably be front loading those purchases pretty heavily initially in order to quickly control a relatively large chunk of our own liquidity, which is a very noble and good goal to have. But at the same time, we're not cutting off our current liquidity mining rewards. We don't want to rug investors, traders, people that are used to those right now. But it does put us on a path to ending those in the not too distant future. The bond strategy would be managed after it's implemented by the existing Olympus Bond Committee, who is currently kicking ass. They've done amazing work on the existing bond. So if you haven't already, give that one a look. It looks like as of this screenshot, we're actually, I just checked. I think we're quickly approaching the quorum with unanimous consent, but you have another 5 days to vote. But yeah, definitely give that a look when you get a chance, because it's a crucial part of our strategy.
Awesome. Thank you, Kent. If anyone has any questions, by the way, about it, please feel free to throw them in the stage chat or raise your hand. But yeah, I know this is one we've been talking about for a while, and thanks for putting this together. And shout out to John for seeding this idea. The hope is that this could potentially be one of our last rounds of liquidity mining, with the goal of owning the majority of our liquidity by the end of this round. So pretty exciting, and glad to see the support for this proposal so far. All right, thanks, Kent. All right, so that's everything that we have currently live for voting. Just a reminder, ideation and boardroom is still out, but I know Crypto Miss has been chatting with them to figure out how soon it'll be coming back, the new improved version. In the meantime, the ideation phase is taking place in the forum. So right now we have 2 proposals in ideation. Kent, thanks for staying up here. The first one we're going to talk about is this Faye Fox token swap and tribe collaboration.
I thought I'd save myself the trouble of getting off the stage and back on the stage. Yeah, so this one is, unfortunately, this one may be a moot point currently, but basically this was seeking approval from the community for executing a token swap with the tribe team, a Fox to Faye swap of up to 10 million. This had good support on the tribe side with the people working on Faye and Rare. We've developed a good relationship with them over the past several months, just with respect to both of their products, and really they were pretty supportive of this idea. Not specifically saying that they would vote for it, but they generally liked the idea. We talked through the details initially. On their side, they actually their governance process is such that they actually had moved on to the point of voting on whether to do this, and if so, whether to execute on 2 million, 5 million, or 10 million. Unfortunately, it appears that is headed towards failure, a no vote on their side. This will, as far as where this stands now, it's good to know that the community supports this. It probably doesn't make sense to push it forward to snapshot at this point. But a few learnings here is, in hindsight, this is kind of a learning process for all of us. And one thing that I completely didn't foresee, and I take responsibility for, is we should have pitched this harder to the tribe community. I think I mistook the team's enthusiasm. That's kind of the core people working on it. I sort of conflated that with community enthusiasm. What we failed to do is really connect with the community and get buy-in from them. Jack from Tribe came over and has talked to us, and they've interacted with us. So that's definitely a learning experience. It would have been really nice. I guess hypothetically things could change at the end here in the final couple hours. But getting stablecoin exposure, as you may know, has been a really important priority. So this effort is not lost. We've already made some inroads with the community, and like I said, their team is generally on board. So I think moving forward, we'll continue to keep this in mind. We still certainly want to be able to integrate Rari into our flow. The product team has done some great comps along those lines, and I have a hunch that as we kind of get closer to that community and potentially start integrating some of these things, the value prop for them will become clearer, because we certainly want more stable exposure, and also we want to be more closely aligned and integrated with this wonderful project. So stay tuned. We'll talk more about it this coming Tuesday in our tokenomics chat. The good thing is it's not our only avenue to stablecoin exposure. So we're keeping things moving on all fronts. We're actually accumulating USDC via our Fox to USDC bond, and currently have it like around 500,000, which is a big improvement. So stay tuned. We'll keep working on it.
Thanks for the update, Kent. And definitely some valuable lessons learned here. Things were looking so great in the pre-proposal stage. Then we had great feedback from a smaller group, but it was a great reminder that it's very important to communicate this to the broader community. And I'm sure I put myself in their shoes, and you can imagine how, as a Fox holder, if a proposal all of a sudden showed up for a big token swap, and there hadn't been an AMA yet, right, or the project hadn't been engaging in the Discord a lot yet, then you might be surprised. And so I'm not surprised that that's ended up happening looking back, but hopeful that we can rekindle this relationship, and communicate more, and bring this proposal back soon with better results.
Someday it'll be axiomatic just how awesome ShapeShift is. We won't have to pimp out the project too much, but for now, it's a good reminder that the enthusiasm we all have here in this Discord isn't necessarily shared, because everybody isn't aware of just how awesome this project is yet.
Great reminder too. And even one of the big wallets is mainly 3 wallets that voted no, that make up the majority of those no votes. The 3 biggest wallets that voted, and one of them did comment in the forum and said, "Hey, I love ShapeShift and community and stuff, but just don't really see how this aligns yet." And so I think that's a great point, that if we could have done a better job of communicating how the alignment, this proposal might have done better. So good lessons learned, and appreciate the perseverance and tenacity, as always, Kent. All right, next up, we've got Michael Kirkland to tell us about this ideation proposal to create the Fox Chain workstream. Welcome, Michael.
Hello, GM.
GM.
Thank you all for, supporting the Fox Chain idea as it is so far. For those who didn't attend a presentation in Q4 last year, ShapeShift has a large problem, and we have an idea to solve it. Right now, because ShapeShift DAO is the next iteration of the ShapeShift Corporation, we still have some vestiges in centralized server infrastructure. We still pay AWS a lot of money to host a lot of things, and in the short term, we're going to be giving that to other DAO members. I understand TaxiStake is going to be hosting some of ShapeShift infrastructure in the short term, but until we change things, we're always going to be reliant on one centralized entity or another. Fox Chain is an idea for how we can solve this problem once and for all. It will allow any one of you in the audience or anyone around the world who is IT savvy to stand up a Bitcoin node or stand up an Ethereum node or stand up whatever node that you happen to like and want to support ShapeShift with. And the longer you stand up this node and the longer it stays online answering requests, the more passive income you will earn with Fox tokens streaming in. It's a way to incentivize all of you to run pieces of ShapeShift infrastructure so that we don't have to rely on any one centralized company to run all of ShapeShift infrastructure on their own. In this way, we allow ourselves to decentralize, we increase privacy, and we give a decentralized gift to the world, because while we may need this infrastructure today for ShapeShift, there are thousands of people out there in the world who need it for other ideas as well, and they don't have the money to pay Infura or AWS to stand up their own node, and they don't have like a physical server to host in their home to sync the entire Ethereum blockchain. So this Fox Chain idea is the subject of the SCP-58, which was just proposed in ideation a couple of days ago. The plan is divided into two parts. The first part is what is covered in the proposal that's in front of ideation right now. We need to do a bunch of research and planning to build. We need to build a bunch of spreadsheets and do a lot of calculations on, how much an Ethereum server costs, how much a Bitcoin server costs, or what if we're rewarding them with 500 tokens a month? What about 1,000 tokens per month? By baking in a lot of different assumptions and running the calculations, we can get a good idea for the first set of values that Fox Chain will use to incentivize people to run this. We also need to work with a lot of really intelligent Go developers and blockchain developers to build a roadmap for the engineering of this new blockchain. This first half of the proposal is this proposal, which covers the first half of the plan, is all about funding these preparatory steps, funding the economics and funding the planning of the software development. If you believe that Fox Chain is a good idea for the ShapeShift DAO's future, I encourage you to read through that proposal carefully. If anything is unclear to you, comment on it and ask for improvements, because when this does go to vote, we either want it to succeed because it's written the way that all of you agree it should be written, or we want it to fail because the ShapeShift DAO doesn't believe that Fox Chain is the right direction. That said, if it does get funded and we do complete phase 1, phase 2 will begin later this year, and in that phase we will be hiring a full-time lead engineer, and we'll be looking for a lot of other Go engineers to help build this according to the plan that was built in phase 1. I've talked a lot. I'll pause here. I know this is one of the most ambitious proposals put in front of the ShapeShift DAO. If any of you have any questions, I encourage you to raise your hand so that we can talk about it here. If not, then I will step down and let the next agenda item take its place on stage.
Thanks, Michael. I think that was a really great overview. We'll pause, we'll stall if there's any questions. And yeah, I'm super bullish on this for a number of reasons, and I don't think we could hope for a better leader to spearhead this critical mission, not just for ShapeShift, but for decentralization in general. So really happy to see this advancing.
I think it's an incredibly important problem that I didn't realize actually until I was speaking with you, Willie, that this is a problem that everybody has. It's not just a problem that ShapeShift has as we're trying to decentralize ourselves into a DAO. every single developer runs into this problem as they're about to test their smart contract, they're about to test their application. They need blockchain information to run it, and if they don't have big pockets to pay in Fura or AWS, and they don't have the server to set it up on their own, they're kind of SOL. This, I think, is a incredibly important piece for the future. And once it's built, once we have a Fox chain that is doing this one thing, we'll be one of the few DAOs out there that has our own blockchain upon which we can build many other ideas that come in the future. I don't want to get too marred in what could happen tomorrow. There's always a never-ending list of what we could do in the future. But to have our own chain sets us apart from many other DAOs and many other projects that are restricted by the Ethereum blockchain that they've chosen to deploy on, or the whatever other blockchain they've chosen to deploy on. This ambitious project not only solves one of our biggest problems as a DAO, but it also sets us up to innovate more quickly and more drastically than any other DAO on the planet. And it makes me incredibly excited for it.
So well said. And yeah, I remember initially you were conceptualizing Fox Chain just because we needed it for ourselves. And I remember that brain blast moment where it was like, holy shit, this could actually be incredibly valuable, even necessary for all these other projects. And nobody's really built this yet. And I think the community might not fully grasp it. You're like, why does it make sense for ShapeShift to build this? But ShapeShift has an incredible depth of experience operating nodes for a huge variety of blockchains. And that's a rare experience. We've been doing it for ShapeShift for over 7 years. And it's very hard to keep nodes for multiple chains live and running, especially when oftentimes the software is very much in the alpha stages. So ShapeShift really does have a huge depth of experience in operating this infrastructure, and I really think we're in a great position to solve this, especially as a DAO. So, all right, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't see any questions in the stage chat, and I don't see any hands here. So that means that you all either understood exactly what I said and it was very clear, or you just don't want to listen to me anymore and you want me off the stage. Either way, back to you, Willie, on the next agenda item. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Michael. All right, moving forward, that's everything we've got in ideation right now. Up next, we're going to talk about some of the new forum posts and proposal drafts. And first up, we've got Validator to talk about a proposal for listing Fox on Compound and a proposal for listing Fox on Aave. Validator, are you available to speak to this?
Just some quick context, maybe while Val gets up here. So this is not actually a governance proposal that our community will vote on, but this is part of a wider effort to get Fox listed more broadly in the DeFi ecosystem. So Val has taken on two bounties to list on Aave and Compound, respectively.
Yes, guys. So as you saw, we're constantly working on trying to create the best proposals there, and we use a structure available from the Aave and Compound. And thank you, John, for sharing better thing for Compound. And we try to finalize it within this next week to be ready for publishing.
Sounds good. Thanks for the clarification, Kent, that this is not really a proposal for our governance, but rather a proposal for those protocol governances. Validator, is there anything that would be useful from the ShapeShift community before we post this?
Just be active as you are now, because we got some great comments from Pete, from Ron, on updating it or bringing better or more fresh information. So please go to the forum and leave your comment. That for sure will make the job easier to finish it.
Sounds good. And Kent and Val, what do you guys think of the lesson we just learned with the fake governance? Do you guys think we should, before we post this, we should at least be in their Discord, maybe offer to do an AMA?
Yeah, if you look at the, at least with Aave, I haven't dug into Compound yet, but with Aave, it's sort of a gradual thing where, there's an initial kind of a draft proposal. I feel like kind of accompanying that with some presence in their communities would be good. After that initial draft, then it can kind of go to the more formal stage. I'm not sure if that's a snapshot or an ideation, but definitely internalizing that lesson. And this is something where maybe there's roles for collaborators to help out. It's sort of quasi biz devy marketing, just community building. But yeah, if anybody out there thinks they can advocate on behalf of ShapeShift, just by hanging out in these different Discords, there's a role for that too. And also, we'll probably be issuing further bounties in the future, just related to other types of integrations. So be on the lookout for that also.
But really, it's a great idea because I think exactly from our previous experience, and if we just post it, we anyway need to be there in the Discord to be able to answer it fast or to get some clarifications on it. Because from the proposal now, from historic one, which I was looking at, they always have some comments, yeah. And of course, if you will not be in there, they might think that you're not active or you're not serious with it.
That's great.
Yeah, maybe making ourselves available for AMAs. That
exactly.
Kind of
yeah. But Kent, it's a good point for us to discuss maybe also how to strengthen it, with the other actions.
Absolutely, yeah. So this is kind of a good thing to jump into for the revision stage, so we can keep jamming on that.
Sounds good. Please, if you're interested, check out those forums and check out those proposals in the forum. Add any feedback you have, and yeah, great to see some of the first bounties from tokenomics coming through. Thank you for picking them up and delivering, Val. And Miss, I see we got you up on stage. Did you have a comment or question? Or are you Miss is getting ready for number 3, I'm guessing. We can't hear any audio coming from your end yet. While we figure that out, we have this draft proposal not yet in ideation, I don't think, but I believe the next step is for this to advance to ideation. JPERD, this is Jack from Masari. He posted a proposal for Masari to do like a research and analytics piece on ShapeShift and Fox Token. The initial proposal was for an upfront payment of $125K. There was some pushback on that upfront cost, or there wasn't a ton of support for it immediately. So we went back and forth, and Jack offered to do a initial $25K coverage report and then reassess down the road. So I think that is likely the proposal that we'll see from them in ideation. And I expect we'll see that soon. Fox McLeod and I were just chatting with him yesterday about next steps. And if there's no questions about this Masari report, Miss, you want to try speaking again? We'll see if your audio is working.
Yeah, how about now?
Yay, we can hear you.
Go figure, Ron solved it. GM, everybody, I just wanted to talk about the proposal that we have in the forum, and I steal from Michael a little bit that he had shared, he wants this, if it does fail, to not be because someone didn't understand it. So really that's kind of the point here, is to help kind of tighten up and clarify the process that we have going through the governance process. So we're looking at formalizing that initial stage, kind of renaming it to be incubation. That is still going to take place in the forum area. It's going to be a required step. Moving from there into ideation, that hopefully at some point will go back to being in boardroom. At this point, they have no anticipated date that will be corrected. So in the meantime, we will continue to hang out in the forum to take care of the ideation, and then of course, same voting process. Also, some things that we're clarifying are, Lily, I think you're going to talk about the voting power and where what Fox works to vote and how those things happen. So no major changes, really just, like I said, tightening up the process that we have currently. So if you guys have any questions now, great. Otherwise, go check out the forum post. I am planning to move that to ideation tomorrow based on a ton of great feedback that we've had.
Awesome. Huge props to Miss, and I know Ron helped a little bit. Huge props for taking the initiative on this and taking a critical process for the DAO, for our governance, and figuring out how we can make it better. I think it's an inspiration to always see, just because we have something that's working, how can we make it better? And I'm really excited about this new, clearer, and improved governance process. Any questions about that? This is a big one.
I do have a question. So it says here that the ideation process involves voting.
Yes.
Voting with, like, does that mean we're doing some sort of snapshot thing for that, or is this a special boardroom thing, or are we just using polls in the forum?
Currently, for ideation, it's going to be a poll in the forum, just like we've been doing currently. Once things do move back to boardroom, that will be a snapshot situation where it'll be based on how many Fox the holder has.
Okay. So we'll need to make sure that when that's actually executing, no ideation stuff has associated ShapeSnap transactions. But yeah.
I would defer that question to Willie because I'm not familiar with ShapeSnap at this point.
Yeah, so ShapeSnap, it's just something that, what ShapeSnap is, for those of you that are curious, it is a smart contract oracle that enables us to take these off-chain snapshot votes. Snapshot votes actually aren't on-chain like the original DAOs were. And the reason for that is that voting on-chain became prohibitively expensive. So Snapshot was this big major innovation that enabled free gasless voting. And the reason for that is that the votes are stored off-chain on IPFS. So then SafeSnap was created as a tool to enable you to bring these off-chain votes on-chain. So it's pretty cool. It enables us to, you could actually create a proposal on Snapshot that has transactions built in. And if that proposal passes, then we can use SafeSnap to actually execute those transactions without any interaction from the multi-sig. Unfortunately, it is a little bit clunky. It adds some time onto the governance process. You have to anticipate what transactions you have up front, and it costs some extra gas to execute it that way. So it is a tool that we do have available now. I'm hopeful that before we eventually want to move away from the multi-sig on the DAO and give token holders complete independence and autonomy and have no multi-sig safeguard. Until then, the multi-sig has proved useful, and we're a lot of experience understanding like how to anticipate these transactions. So I'm hopeful that by the time that we decide to completely get rid of the multi-sig, there's an even better solution than SafeSnap. And I'm pretty confident that projects like Snapshot are improved versions where the votes actually are on chain, but they're still gasless and just happen on like a layer 2. So yeah, that's SafeSnap. I didn't quite understand the context of your point there, but
that is because I didn't understand the thing properly. I thought you were talking about like introducing a new type of proposal. It was like an ideation proposal, and I totally whiffed and forgot Boardroom had a specific tool for voting based on Fox on ideation stuff. So please ignore me, and I apologize.
No problem. Thanks, Mr. Nerd here.
And I appreciate, Willie, you really set up the governance process, and you and John have been integral in kind of offering some of that feedback. So I appreciate that. And Mr. Nerd here, it doesn't matter if you were off point. Now we've all learned something. So it's a win-win.
Love that silver lining. And I'll try and find this really good blog post on SafeSnap. I can't find it right now, but it's a good one for anyone who's curious. All right. Thank you, Miss. There's no other questions on the improved governance process. I do encourage everyone to go check it out and see if you can come up with other feedback to improve it before this goes up. And on that note, we'll talk about this Fox voting power. This one, I don't plan on making an immediate proposal for this, but I was hoping we could kind of just bundle this with your proposal, Miss, to make the addendum. And the reason for this is that this is kind of this is currently where we're at right now. So just putting in the forum all the different places that Fox does count towards voting power, then we can link to it from the governance process instead of having to so we can keep it a little bit shorter. And then I was thinking that in the governance process, something that in this addendum, we could include some language that basically says, as Fox expands to new chains and to new DeFi protocols, that we will strive to give one vote for one Fox wherever feasible. And that way we don't have to make a new governance proposal every time Fox gets added to tokamak. We want to make sure that we're not disincentivizing people from depositing their Fox in tokamak because they would lose their voting power. Any thoughts on this topic around whether we should put language in the new addendum to just basically be able to add Fox voting power without additional governance proposals? Just making that clear.
So this I am competent on. I am in full support of extending Fox voting power to as many places and forms that Fox can be as possible. The sticking point is just going to be who gets to actually make the change to the code that the strategy code that determines what the votes are for anything in particular. Because if that's set wrong, then the snapshot votes end up wrong, and people can execute bad proposals. We'd probably catch that, and we have an override, for malicious proposals. But again, hopefully we get to a state where we don't require that. So I'd love to do it if we can figure out how to do it securely. I just don't know how that is at the moment.
Yeah, really great point, Mr. Nerdhair. And maybe the first thing that's coming to mind is maybe that we delegate that responsibility to the multi-sig for now, who's also the snapshot.
Well, it's sort of already functionally done that way, except it's not the multi-sig. It's the snapshot admins. They get to set the voting strategies, and Snapshot doesn't have a good tool set for integrating that with DAO proposals or something. But yeah. Anyway, we should keep an eye on that, and hopefully they will at some point.
Totally. Yeah, and I just want to pause here and highlight just the concept of progressive decentralization. Because just like you're pointing out, Mr. Nerdhair, there's things that we'd love to be able to do, but a lot of, even these protocols, these tools that we're using to DAO it are very new, right? And they have big roadmaps, but they're at the very beginning of their roadmaps. So I am very confident that, just with the pace of innovation we've seen so far, we'll continue to see these DAO tools improve, and we'll see problems like that get solved. So that's why, everyone, it's very desirable to go full decentralization immediately, but it's just not very feasible. And when you actually look at all the DAOs, I do think that ShapeShift DAO is definitely on the more decentralized spectrum already, even though we are one of the younger DAOs. And, kudos to Mr. Nerdhair and to the whole community for, making sure that we are doing things securely and always trying to make sure we are doing it as decentralized as is feasible, but also not hurting ourselves, not crippling ourselves by trying to go too quickly. So progressive decentralization is a very valuable concept to practice, and one day we'll get there. All right, Josh, are you available to speak to the engineering report? Not technically a governance proposal, but a new forum post. And something that would be great to share with the community if you're available.
There we go. Wow, that took some doing for some reason. Hey, everybody.
Hey, Josh.
All right. So, yes, the engineering report for December. One of the things to note is that, as is typical in the U.S., December is a holiday time. So, particularly towards the end of the month, we had quite a few people. We've got some workstream contributors with small kids and stuff like that who are then home for Christmas break. So, you just get less productivity in December. That's just how it goes. And it's actually important to have some of that downtime and family time. So, but what we did, I still think we got some good things accomplished. We can see it here. I split these reports into our two primary repositories, Web and Unchained. So for Web, did a lot of work with market data, and then we refactored the React data store. So another thing you'll see is that there's a lot of the tasks that we did in December were more what you'd call maintenance. They didn't produce user-facing features. And one of the reasons for that, well, those are good to do because it increases our ability to iterate on the product in the future, and it also makes it easier for open source contributions. That's really one of our big focuses, is we are trying to make this code base as easy for outside developers to work in as possible. When you're just running an internal dev team, a lot of maintenance stuff, it's easier to push maintenance stuff off because you just kind of know where your faults are, right? And everyone kind of codes around it and stuff like that. But when you're trying to continually bring in new contributors, it's even more important to have as easy to trace code and as easy code to add new features to as possible. And then the other thing is that just so happens December's a great month for maintenance work, because to do the feature work and to add new features, you need more design meetings. You need to bring more people together to make sure people get aligned. And maintenance work is something that is a little easier for just 1 to 2 people to pick up. So that was web. On Unchained, it was some of the same, and also the ability to parse new types of transactions. We knew we had some balance logic that was off. So bringing in, making sure we were capturing all of the different transactions on ETH and Bitcoin. And then this team is also helps maintain the nodes. So I think we had a Thor node upgrade in December and some other things that happened too. And then last point that I made is on recruiting, that I worked with the engineering leadership and Ocean a lot, Adam, on a flexible interview process, because we want to have a process. We realize that we may not, let me step one step back. Our ideal case would be, and it's actually, we're starting to see some of this, we have outside contributors who just start contributing more and more. They work well with us. They like working. They like the code. They like the ethos. And ultimately, they just kind of become a full-time engineering workstream member. That's awesome. And I think that is possible even with some of the outside contributors that we have right now. But we need to grow faster than that. I've been putting out job postings, and we need to bring in candidates, and we need to be able to vet them a little quicker than just come in. And also our bounty process, while it's made a lot of headway, and we're doing much more now than we did in November, December last year, we still don't have enough to be able to vet every candidate that we would like to vet. So we needed to develop an interview process that looked a little more like a traditional company, but had the flexibility to be able to skip steps if they were already a contributor, or we'd already been able to see their code through PRs or something like that. So that we focused on that for a little bit in December. We've got a good process, and we have now, I have now made a couple posts and have receiving candidates and learning quite a lot about the whole Web3 space. It's filled with more developer scammers than traditional space. Maybe that shouldn't come as a surprise, but yep, that was the report for December. Any questions?
If you don't have a question, feel free to post on stage or raise your hand. I'll stall for a second and just say thank you for the update and keeping us up to speed with everything that's going on behind the scenes. It's really cool to be able to see all the details, especially when it's not all user-facing changes, but definitely valuable improvements, especially those speed changes. Really awesome how fast app's loading now. Also really stoked to see you guys ramping up the recruiting and getting into a really good rhythm with bounties. That is so awesome. And I love seeing all of the open source developer community within ShapeShift grow.
DeFi.
I just want to say it's a really good summary, and even though a lot of it, like you said, is not user facing, it really lays the groundwork and puts us in a much more comfortable position to be able to accept these community contributions, which we're obviously ramping up. Like our two main focuses are like hiring and scaling engineering, and onboarding, developer experience, all that stuff. So in a much more robust place. So expect to see a lot more features built on top of this. But appreciate the update, Jules.
All right, and congratulations to you both and to the entire engineering team and community on a super smooth launch. That was like our first major product launch as a DAO, and it couldn't have gone smoother. So props to you guys. And yeah, DeFi Cafe and I were having a great time chatting earlier just about DAO life and relative to past life over at centralized ShapeShift and how much faster we're moving and how awesome it is just to have no barriers between us and the community. So cool.
Awesome. All right, man. I gotta get back to building.
DeFi. Back to building. That's right.
Yeah, back to building. Thanks, everyone.
All right. The Smith, are you available to give us an update on LATAM Sprint Report? LATAM has been crushing it lately. Really love to see that community growing.
Hello, GM, everybody. Hello, Eddie.
GM the Smith.
Yeah, properly. First of all, I'm really glad to be here among people who have incredible proposals and ideas. So yeah, let's move on to our report. The forum post is an important report from Latam. I usually give them Epkin names. That's why it is called Santuario. So it talks about our week and some milestones that we accomplished so far. Yeah, Santuario means sanctuary. Yeah, and sort of. Yeah. I talked a little bit some web socials overview. So I put some KPIs in this report. We touched Steam this time and Odyssey. We were curated in some communities, so we are very happy to live this moment on Web3 socials. Odyssey community has been really supportive, and you can move down a little bit. Yeah, we will reach our newsletter report. Yes, you guys can see some numbers. Yeah, talked about Validator, which is growing. We are experiencing engagement there. So yes, no doubt that is a real big thing, and we are very excited to gather communities in our Twitter profile. Move on. Yeah, regarding our newsletter work, we started to translate our official publications in Portuguese. So we have a bilingual newsletter now. We are also great. Yeah, you can see this content on chain for a better reading. So we are saying to Odyssey, and this content is something like an NFT because it's on chain. Yeah, it has a good readability. So it is important to say that Odyssey pay us per view. So it is a good point. This content push this content there. So
are you saying this content
sorry,
revenue generating? Did you say Odyssey is paying for this content?
Yeah. They pay per every time that someone looks into your post on Odyssey, you get a reward by their protocol.
Super cool. Where are those rewards going? Are those Ethereum assets?
We manage our rewards inside our profile. So we used to stake these rewards, which is their coin. I'm talking about LBC coin. So the more LBC you stake in your article, the more viewers you'll get. So it is, it isn't a true stake, but it allows you to stake your LBC in your articles.
Super cool. Love learning about new revenue streams.
Odyssey has a great community. If you jump in our profile, we experienced a growth there. So we have more than 100 followers. It has a cool view and a nice layout. So yeah, definitely we are really excited about Odyssey.
Looking good, the Smith.
That's me. Yeah.
If any of you guys are wondering, that's awesome. M&A with CoinX.
Yeah, was the only useful photo to fit in this banner. It's okay. Okay, we are also deploying some articles in Miho. Mirror is a really cool platform. We are minting articles there. So yeah, if you post anything in Mirror, you will get your article minted in mainnet. So yeah, we are pushing some in this platform also.
Very cool. Yeah.
Yeah, we are talking about several topics in Web3 social, aiming a specific audience. Yeah. Okay. Mirror. And yeah, we just defined our job description and roles, so you guys can see our roles. And if you click in each card, roles will be defined. If you roll down, yeah, it is a pretty big notion, dude.
This is a beautiful Notion doc.
Yeah,
You
this
guys-
is our work environment. Yeah, if you click on like Mr. Bear, on Mr. Bear card, you'll see that Mr. Bear now has a role, a growth hacker role. So yeah, there's a flavor in this role. I used to do things like that, and every Latin contributor job description. So this information is public for everyone.
This
So
is awesome.
is a curator. Yeah, we have some awesome features there. You guys can see our workflows.
You guys have been super busy.
Yeah, and our month is that Latin was being working on. And yeah, we also received some fan arts from communities. They are really creative, and yeah, we really enjoy this kind of interaction.
Super cool to see. Thank you for the update, the Smith. And
yeah, thank you.
Yeah, appreciate
it.
Yeah, appreciate you guys, and so awesome to see this community getting built down there. I look forward to meeting you guys in person one day. Have you guys decided? Are you planning to make that proposal for E3O?
Yeah, sure. We are, about this. We are in an advanced stage, I guess. So Toasty and Hunt might have, correct news about this proposal. But yeah, we intend to be on E3O.
Sweet. Yeah, I would love to come hang out with you guys down there in RL. So yeah, stay tuned everybody for proposal coming up for E3O. Looks like it's going to be a really awesome event. I'm glad that we can have our local community down there open.
Thank you for your support, really appreciate it.
You bet. All right. If there's no questions about that, that brings us to the end of all of the in progress, in flight proposals we have moved through the governance process. So now we got some space to discuss ideas for proposals, governance process, open Q&A. Anything's welcome here. So if anyone has any topics, feel free to drop them in the stage chat. Or if you want to come up on stage, raise your hand. And I guess this does have a whole forum post going on around improving the governance process. So definitely check that out. And yeah, this call has given me some ideas for maybe some other things we consider. It's not too late to add feedback to governance process. All right, I see we got a hand raised from Grace. Grace, I'm going to pull you up here. Got to meet Grace earlier. Grace is a new member of the Ichi community, and she's Colorado local. So Grace will be at ETH Denver for anyone who's attending. Hey Grace, I've invited you up on stage. Do you see the banner on the top of your Discord window?
There we go. I found it.
GM Grace, how are you doing?
Hey, Willie, I'm doing great. Thanks so much for having me. I just wanted to introduce myself to the ShapeShift community from the Ichi team. We're super excited to partner with you guys. For anyone who is unfamiliar with Ichi, we created a product that is helping to prevent token prices from going down using essentially a money wall that we call an angel vault. So we are launching with ShapeShift pretty soon here. we're super excited to get it deployed and go live, since it's done wonders for our other clients, such as Fuse. I also had one more comment or request of the community. We have an idea being thrown around right now where we're thinking that we would like to have an NFT launched at the same time as the Angel Vault. So if anyone in the ShapeShift community is interested in partnering on that, let me know.
Cool. Super excited for the Angel Vault. I know we're getting very close to launching that, working through some of the final transactions, and Mr. Nerdhair is doing a code review on the farming contract. Tell us a little bit more about this NFT you have planned. I don't quite understand what this looks like.
Yeah, I know it was just it was a little bit of an idea we were throwing around just on the announcement of ShapeShift launching an Ichi Angel Vault. We just wanted the NFT to be launched sort of at the same time, of just sort of an image you could, with the box or logos kind of combining in an NFT of some kind.
Ah, cool. Who would we distribute the NFT to? What are you thinking?
We have not gotten that far. Like I said, just kind of an idea,
Cool.
just as a part of the announcement.
Cool. Yeah, especially if we do like a POAP, those are super easy. And I think we're getting back into the swing of doing POAPs, and this would be a good opportunity for a POAP. And you'd be surprised what people will do for a free JPEG. So I like the idea of maybe doing something similar like we did with Tokamak. We did a cool Tokamak POAP, and we gave it to everybody who voted for the Tokamak Fox reactor. Maybe we can do something cool where it's like everyone who deposits into the Angel Vault in the first X hours gets a POAP.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I feel like there's a ton of fun things we can do there. So just wanted to get some engagement, get some involvement with our Ichi ShapeShift partnership.
Appreciate it, Grace. And yeah, congrats to Ichi. You guys, it's been awesome to see the success with the Angel Vaults and just the Ichi token over the past few weeks. So looking forward to getting an Angel Vault up for Fox soon.
Yeah, likewise. Thanks, Willie.
Thanks, Grace. See you at December. All right, we got 2 minutes left. Does this mean we're doing POAPs again? Is that what this means? I'm not quite sure. I didn't know if there's going to be a POAP, but it looks like we might have a POAP. So I'll try and figure that out. If we've got a POAP, we'll post a link. Here's a cool image of our org structure. And yeah, I think we're getting into just old slides now, appendix type stuff. So thank you, everybody, for joining this week's governance call. As always, it's been a great one. Thank you, everyone, pushing these proposals through the process, and look forward to DAOing it with y'all and seeing many of you guys at ETH Denver. Thanks so much, everybody. GM.